In the previous section, we created our first Ember model that used Ember data, and we also revised our products route so that it pulled the proper records out of the Ember store. But what if our model, products, was associated with another model, like reviews? That's not uncommon. A store has products and the product has reviews. How might we create those different models and express that relationship? Let's create another model that represents a review. Here you can see it has a text field, which is a string, and reviewed at, which is a date. Our next step is to express the relationship between these two models. We simply have to write reviews ds.hasMany review, and then we'll specify an option called async true. This will allow for lazy loading. This means when we're iterating through the products later and we want to print out a review for a product, it'll be smart enough to then go and fetch the records out of the store for those reviews so we can print them to the page. We also might want to express the opposite side of the relationship. This wouldn't be required in our example, but it might be good to do. So we'll say product ds.belongs to product. Next, we'll create our review fixtures. They're going to require an ID, and we're just going to specify text and give our review some text. Finally, we'll map those reviews back to a product. The first one will be mapped to product 1, and the second one also product 1. Now we'll want to go back to our product fixtures and add those associations. So here we can say reviews, and we'll specify the IDs of each of the reviews for this product. If you're maybe a Ruby developer and familiar with Active Record, you're probably wondering about now why we need to represent the relationship in both directions and tell the reviews what product it belongs to and the products what reviews it has. Well, this is just because we're using fixtures. Obviously, if you were using a backend server, you could map things however you wanted. But because we're using fixtures, what's important here is that we map products to reviews, because we're always going to be looking up the product first and listing the reviews underneath it. So it's most important that our product knows what reviews it contains, not the other way around. Our reviews technically don't need to know what products they belong to. Now, back inside of our product template, we're going to show the reviews. We'll loop over them, saying each review in reviews, and then we'll print out the review text. Fairly simple. Once again, we can simplify this each loop and just specify each reviews and then the text element we want to print out. We also might want to print something out when a product has no reviews at all. In this case, our each loop has an else condition that will be run when there are no reviews. So here we can say, no reviews yet, be the first to write one. Now when we go back to our page, we can see that our Flint has 2 reviews there at the bottom. And now if we click on Kindling, we can see that it has no reviews yet, be the first to write one. Before we set you loose on the challenges, I did promise you I was going to show you how to make RESTful server calls to fetch this product and review data. And it's really simple to get started. All we have to do is set our Ember application adapter to the Ember data REST adapter. Once we do this and we go back into our browser, we can see that it attempted to do a server request to localhost 3000/products, and it didn't find any JSON data. So from here, we could either create a file called products with some JSON data in it, or we could even create a server, that might have a database with a products table and a reviews table. And our Ember application would want us to create JSON that looks something like this. You can see this returns both an array of products and an array of reviews, and each product specifies which reviews it has many of. Now, if we go back to our server, the first time we load up the server, you can see it did one request, called up all the JSON, And now we can navigate through our website, listing out the products, getting the product information. It's not connecting back to the server at all. It's keeping everything on the client side and simply accessing the storage and pulling records onto the page. So now you know all of the components you need to build a basic Ember application. There's a lot more to it, so get to those challenges. We won't close for this evening. And we'll be talking about acorn models and pinecone data, ladies.